So, people, last night's Dynamite slammed. I want to talk about Thomas Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. I love their confrontation. I love the simple fact that the acknowledgments of how they've never came face to face since they've been in AEW together. This is the match I'm looking forward to. I picked Mercedes Moné to win the Owen Hart tournament. I do believe she's going to win against Toni Storm. Now, if she does, just imagine the history that she's made. First off, look at what she's accomplished while she's here in AEW. And then two, for her to do it and become women's champion and undefeated, I mean, come on. And it only makes sense for her to stay with AEW. You don't invest that kind of time and money and interest in a person just to have them pack their bags and jump ship as soon as their contract is over. I posted a short video of Kenny Omega saying how, in AEW, here you're going to work for this multi-billion-dollar company, but have creative. We want Kenny Omega. We don't want to have you, like he talked about people managing and micromanaging, like everything. You're taught how to do everything a certain way to a certain standard. Doesn't make it better. Just means this is just our way. And so, yeah, when I told you guys before, it's one of these things where you see a wrestler, you like this wrestler, and then they go to WWE, and all of a sudden it's like they're just not the same person anymore. They change them, or they have them do things in a way where it's just they're out of their element. And basically, Toni Storm said something. She talked about both of their journeys and what they've done, and struggling on their independence, and they both talked about how they are who they're supposed to be. AEW allowed them to be who they're supposed to be. And like I said, only a person with a slave mentality, only a true slave would argue with that. I used to work with a guy who complained every day about how they was treating him. He used to work in his warehouse and how they didn't know what they were doing. And man, he knows how to do the work better than all those people on the lines. He knows how to do the job better than the line leads and everything. And, I told him you need to speak up. He kind of spoke up, and I put a good word in for him, and I said, now, by no way does this come back to haunt me. He's a grown-ass man. I said, but what I'm telling you, the problem that we were having was the majority of the people, all of the line leads were Latino, but they couldn't speak English. So now what's happening is, because they can't speak English, they would have non-Spanish speaking people just do the same things all the time. Now, all of the new Spanish people that will come in, and those that had already been there, they got them doing every different thing that you do on the line. But the ones who couldn't speak Spanish, they just had you doing the same thing every day. So they would come to you every day with this paper for you to sign that you got the training or you got the experience to do X, Y, Z, and I wouldn't sign it. And I told the manager, I said, listen, no. And I explained to them what was going on. I said, do you understand that people are doing the same things all the time just because the language barrier? Now, you sign this paper, you're saying that you got training on something and experience in something that you don't. Simply because you're not given the opportunity or being taught or trained. I said, and at the end of the day, that's unfair and a disservice to everybody here. On so many levels. I got a promotion, and I went to a different department and got a promotion. Got another promotion. This guy basically was so happy that he finally was gonna get the line lead position, and and all that, whatever. And all of a sudden, he gets the position, and then this guy can't handle it. He's complaining. Then he says, "Man, I go back to my old position. Man, I was just chilling when I had my old position." The fuck you mean you was just chilling? Man, you complained and came to me with this shit, and I told you need to put your foot down. I went there and put a good word in for you. You get bumped up, get an increase in pay and everything, and now you want to go back to being a fucking slave, because that's all it was. And it was slave labor, man. They would have one guy trying to do, 1 minute you look up, you got 3 guys over there doing one job. But certain people, they're going to try to give it to you all big, strong, man. Nah, fuck that. You're going to give me help. And he wasn't good. He'd rather take orders than give them. He didn't believe in himself, and he was just take whatever they give them and go along with it. Yet he complained about it so badly. And this is exactly what you see happen. WWE, AEW, or it's work, it's a job. And you see all of these people that leave WWE all say the same thing. They want to control you, they want to own you, they don't let you do what you want to do, they don't want to let you be you. Everybody might not be, good creatively, but help a person to develop their own character. This is what I'm saying, and this is what is necessary to do. This is why when people choose AEW over WWE, and then you got the retards going, oh man, you should have went to WWE because, yeah, okay, right. You got people like Bully Ray who make stupid comments. Yes, stupid comments. I don't give a fuck about his opinion. Stupid comments like, oh, I wish Heyman, Adam Page, and MJF would come to WWE so they could become real stars. What the fuck do you mean? So they can come over there and be taught what to say? So they can go over there and fight for fucking Ula followers and bracelets? So they can come out and talk for a half fucking hour about nothing? Speaking of Heyman, Adam Page, I love the dialogue that he had. I love the things that he was saying and addressing the crowd and him bringing back home the championship, from Moxley and the Death Riders, right? And how he basically, gave the shine to AEW and what it means to wrestling and what it means for him to be there. Swerve comes out. See, I like what's happening here because here, when you make bad decisions in life, it can come back to haunt you. Adam Page's bad decisions are starting to come back to haunt him, even though he's turned a new leaf. So him and Swerve got their issue back and forth, and Swerve had him pull up on the big screen what happened, what the Young Bucks said, and everything of how they, helped him in preventing him from becoming champion again. And that Hangman made that promise that he will never, ever allow Swerve to be champion as long as he's there. So they have their confrontation. Will Ospreay comes out, and he's really close with Swerve, but he's trying to be the voice of reason and keep peace because he understands to beat the Death Riders, Adam Page is going to need help. Because pretty much the Death Riders is not going to stand around and watch Moxley just get pinned, right? So there will be some type of interference, which I believe what's going to happen is at some point, whether they want to help each other or not, it's going to happen. But now, what this makes people think is, damn, without helping each other, without standing together, they don't stand a chance because Hangman Adam Page isn't going to get a fair shot at Moxley. And so then it's like, which is going to happen? That you don't know. But I think Adam Page is the one that's going to get it done. And I think that at some point, whether Swerve and Adam Page get on the same page before All In or not, at All In, I believe Swerve will do the right thing. Now, you could see Swerve pull a Swerve and become a heel. Just saying, right? But if you're that angry at Hangman, you have to still be that angry at Moxley. You can't overlook what Moxley's done, right? So I kind of eliminate that choice. AEW has been making some solid wrestling moves, man. They listen. I love what's going on right now. This is grown-up dialogue. See, this is why when these retards say things like "there's no storyline," what the fuck do you mean there's no storylines? You guys really need the Three Little Bears, Little Red Riding Hood. You need those little childish WWE watered down storylines. This little bougie, let's come out and, you're world champion, toodles, and all this little goofy shit. This is what you guys are used to. That's what you call a storyline. Somebody just coming out arguing about nothing and acting all prissy and they don't even seem like wrestlers, man. They seem like a bunch of actors. And it's so funny because AEW is giving you kick-ass wrestling. They're giving you that kick-ass feeling. They're giving you that throwback, this is what we come to do feeling. And yeah, man, you have different people, different personalities, and yeah, you're going to get that. You're supposed to get that. But it feels like wrestling again. And listen, man, this is what I say. Stop judging AEW based on what you think the WWE would do. And pretty much, man, this is something that I feel is it's a must, and it's a great thing that AEW is here, because wrestling fans get to watch wrestling. We get to see the balance of storytelling with wrestling, you know, and it's like life lessons, man, things that you really deal with in real life, not just this soap opera-ish, watered down, you know, you stole my Ulafala, you stole my bracelet, and that's precious to me. This is not what we're getting with AEW. So we're getting grown-up storylines. We're getting grown-up storytelling. We're not getting, you know, and even with the humor that they add to things. And that's one thing I love about Toni Storm, because she can be funny but serious at the same time, and she can go in that ring, you know, versus just getting a bunch of, hey man, let's just get together, get in the ring, insult each other, and let's have the content creators all sit and talk about who got the better of who when it comes to a war of words. Now, this is part 1 to this video. I will do a part 2 later to talk about the rest of last night's Dynamite, and it was solid. That's all I got for you guys right now. Catch you guys on the next video.